Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 with Zebu Nation. And today we're going to continue the Getting Started series by taking a look at our first unboxing video. Also, our first live video, as you can see. Normally I like to talk over a slideshow or a video game or something like that, but today we're going to try our hands at some live video and a live unboxing. I'm going to try not to shake the camera too much as I do this. So what we have here is the First Strike box set. This is one of the smallest box sets that you can get, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I chose it for this Getting Started series. Because I think that this is actually a pretty decent place to start if you're thinking about getting into the hobby, or if you're thinking of maybe getting someone else into the hobby, because this makes a pretty good present. You look at the size of it, something that can be wrapped easily, something that can be transported easily. You can even send it in the mail pretty quickly, pretty easily. And for the price, it's pretty good. It's only $30 or around $30. If you find it someplace for more than $35 US, you're probably paying too much and you should probably look around for another source. But it goes on sale quite often. I got this box set for $29.99. At my local retailer. So right around there is pretty good, and you get some good value in this box. So it makes a good present, it makes a good starter set, and let's take a look and see what's inside and see why I think it does make such a good starter set. So we're going to open it up. It's of course pretty easy to open, and there we go. Now, I've already put the models together, as you can see here. But these are what's known as press fit models, which means it's very easy to put them together. Now they do come attached on these little sprues here. I'm going to dump them out a little bit. They come attached on these little sprues, and you do have to cut them out. So you will need a tool to cut them out of the sprue, but other than that, they go together pretty quickly. Now, for example, I brought some tools with me. This is what I normally have to use to put Warhammer models together. You got your plastic glue, you got your clippers, some pressers here, tweezers, and of course, X-Acto knife. Now, for these models, I didn't need most of this stuff. We can take all this stuff away. Kind of needed the glue, but not really. And really all I needed were these clippers. You can get these for anywhere between $2 and $10 depending on the quality that you want. So really, when it comes to starting in the hobby, these are the first tools you're going to need. Of many, I'm not going to lie to you. There will be many tools you'll need over the course of your hobbying career, but to start with, get the easy press fit models and a pair of clippers and you're ready to go. So what do you get in this box? Well, let's set it up. This is the First Strike box, and it's designed for Space Marines versus Plague Marines, the Death Guard. And for the most part, they have the Ultramarines versus the Death Guard. And that's another reason why I think this is an excellent box set. It's because Death Guard versus Ultramarines is what it's all about right now in Warhammer fiction. Let's move these over a little bit, get them on camera. It's Mortarion, the Demon Primarch versus Guilliman, the favored son of the Imperium. And this box set is sort of that conflict in a microcosm. So what you get here is you get 3 Ultramarine Intercessors, 3 Ultramarine Reavers, 3 Death Guard Plague Marines, and then 6 Death Guard Poxwalkers. And these are just sort of little zombie guys. So you might wonder why you get so many more Death Guard than Ultramarines. It's because the Death Guard, these guys are not very good. They're just little zombie guys, and they're kind of there just for mass infantry charges. So they're not great, but they're pretty good. And these models are okay. Now I will admit I had a little bit of trouble with the intercessors. This guy here and this guy here, the guy who's, I guess he's the sergeant. He's pointing his finger there. He's got a bolt pistol on his side. I had to glue his arm on. His arm just wouldn't stay on. And same with this guy. He's got the Auspex scanner there. I had to glue his arm on as well. So a little bit of problem with the press fitting of these guys. Now the Death Guard went together great. No problems at all. There's not a lot of seams. You can see maybe here on this guy's shoulder plate. Let's see if we can focus in on this guy. No, not really. You can see a little bit of a seam on this guy's shoulder plate. But for the most part, the Death Guard were pretty good. Although, right here, this Plague Champion, he had a broken part. You can see on top of his backpack, there's a missing piece there. His backpack should look like this guy's, where there's no hole in the middle right there. But as you can see here, he's got a little broken piece, a little hole right there. But anyway, for the most part, these are pretty good quality models. They're not as high a quality models that you'd get elsewhere in terms of the non-press fit or the non-easy fit. But they're still good enough, especially if you're just starting out. If you're just wanting to figure this game out, these are pretty good models. And in fact, if you wanted to buy them all separately, they would be $15 a piece. So these three models here would be $15, and then these three, and these 6. So that's, you know, that's $60 worth of models that you're getting for $30. Now the other things you get in this box is you get a little set of dice right there. Let's drop the camera down a little bit. There we go. Not too shaky. You get one of these press fit. You know, I didn't know how these worked until I accidentally dropped one in a cup of tea. So what you have to do is you have to get these wet, and then the little stickers will come off, and they're incredibly adhesive. So you got to be very careful, and that's what I use the tweezers for. You really need to be very careful with these stickers. So you get them wet, you pull them off, and you put them on the shoulder pads or wherever you can fit them, wherever you feel like fitting them. Usually they're for the shoulder pads, because as you can see, the shoulder pads on these guys are blank. There's not much on them at all, so you put their little ultramarine symbol on there. Gives them a little bit more detail. So that's nice to have. You have a little ruler, just in case you don't have one at home. They give you one. This is for movement and shooting and range finding and all that stuff. So not only does this box come with models and come with dice, it comes with rules. It's got a whole pack of rules here. You get a nice little box of different books and different cards and things. First of all, you get instructions on how to put everything together. So they show you what these guys should look like, and then they show you how to press fit them together. I wish my camera had a little wider angle, but c'est la vie. So there you go, step-by-step instructions. There they tell you, get your own little set of clippers right there. But yeah, so that's very handy. And then they have the first striker. Read this first book. And this is if you don't know anything about Warhammer 40,000. Oops, I just knocked everybody over. It gives you the history and lore. An introduction to the hobby, introduction to just about everything. Shows you the different chapters of Space Marines. How to buy more stuff. Of course, an advertisement for more models. This is telling you to go out and get the No Fear box. That's if you're going to, you know, continue with this theme of Space Marines versus Death Guard. It's very easy to do that. They show you how to paint, everything. It's a very good getting started thing. It even shows you a little bit of gameplay, how to set things up. So it's a nice little getting started booklet. And I mentioned the you know, the No Fear box set, which is again Plague Marines versus Ultramarines. That's the other reason I thought you should buy this, was because there's so many models right now for Plague Marines and Ultramarines. They're really supporting them. As I mentioned, the fiction is all about it right now. If you're buying the new books, it's all about Plague Marines, it's all about Ultramarines. But the models also, there are new releases all the time for these two armies. So if you're interested in getting the newest models, the best models, the most interesting diversity of models, it's not a bad idea to start with these two armies. Now, if they don't interest you, they don't interest you, no problems. But this is definitely a good place to start. And speaking of starting, you have your first core rules set of introduction. So the other book gave you an example of how to play. This gives you the actual rules. Movement phase, psychic phase, shooting phase, etc., etc., etc. Now this is fine, this is okay, but it's not as good as the other box sets. And it's mainly because of size, because you can fit this right in the box. It's pretty easy. But I think they could have done a little better by including one of these, the core rules set. These come, it's a fold out thing that has all the rules on it, front and back. And this comes with a lot of the other box sets. So I don't know why they didn't include it in this one. You know, it fits in the box pretty good. But it's just a little more handy to have a fold-out thing than a book that you've got to thumb through. But either way, it's the same content. It just gives you the core rules and everything like that. Then the other thing they include are the data cards. So here's data cards for the Poxwalkers. It's got some nice artwork on the back. So even if you don't want to use the data cards, you know, maybe you go and you buy the whole book for the Death Guard or something like that, the Codex, as they call it, you can still keep these around for the art. These tell you everything you need to know about the different characters, the different models. So here's the basic Plague Marine right here, gives you his stats. There's the Plague Champion, which is this guy here with the sword and the claw. And then it gives you the stats for all their weapons, and the same for the Intercessor Squad and the Reaver Squad. Now, one of the reasons I bought this box was for the Reavers. I didn't want a whole detachment of Reavers. If you buy the Reaver box, you get like 20 of them. I didn't want 20. I only wanted a handful. So that's why I started looking at this box, because it had these Reavers, and these Reavers are basically scouts for the Primaris Marines. And the Primaris Marines are these guys, and they're the newest model of Space Marines. If you read the chapters or you read the fiction at all, there's a big deal with these Primaris Marines. They're the improved version of Space Marines. And the Reavers are basically their scouts. And I wanted a group of these guys for the game Kill Team, because I needed to add them to one of my Kill Team squads. So I could have just bought these guys for 15 bucks, and that would have been okay. But I also wanted some of these guys, some of these Death Guard guys. I needed another champion, and I needed a guy with a heavy weapon. So the Plague Marines come with both of those guys. Comes with a heavy weapon, what is this, a Blight Launcher, something like that. But anyway, I needed one again for Kill Team. This guy I needed for my regular squad. I got 2 squads of Plague Marines, but I only have one champion, so I needed another champion. So I could have just bought these 2 for 30 bucks. But then I looked at the First Strike box itself is 30 bucks, so why not get some extra Poxwalkers, some extra Plague Marines? And then the other thing that came with it is up here, this map. You can see it took me a couple of days to flatten this out, because it comes all folded up. That's why it's out here, it's folded up. And then the other thing is you can flip the box over and it becomes a little piece of terrain. So they set it up in the rules. Let me see if I can refocus that. No, I can't refocus that. I'm still learning this camera. But they set it up so that you've got everything you need in this box set to play a game. You can run around this map, you got a little bit of terrain, you got enough for 2 armies, you got your dice, you got your measuring stick, you're ready to go. So it's a nice little box set, 30 bucks, it's okay. But the other thing that it gets you ready for, it doesn't just get you ready for the full game of 40K. It also gets you ready for Kill Team, because what you have here essentially are 2 kill teams. So if you go out and you buy this set, and then you go out, maybe you get the PDF version of the Kill Team rules, which again is $30. Or, you know, you can get it for free some places online. I'm not going to tell you where, because you're probably not supposed to do that. But if you can get a hold of the Kill Team rules, or maybe just go down to your local hobby shop, and, you know, a lot of times they'll have the rules just lying around where you can pick them up and read them and play at your local hobby shop. You can take these 2 teams, put them together in, like, you know, maybe a half an hour to put these 2 teams together, and you're ready to play a game of Kill Team. Now, this isn't a full 100 points for each team. It's about between 70 and 80 points worth of guys for each team. But that's enough to play a game. There's no doubt about it. So I mentioned in my previous videos that I think Kill Team is a great way to get into the hobby. And I think that this First Strike box set is a way that can not only encourage you to play 40K, to get involved in it, but it can also help you out with Kill Team as well. So there we go. There's my unboxing of the First Strike box set. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed my first live video. We'll see how this looks. We'll see if I actually post it. But until next time, I guess, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.